we go. So happy Tuesday, everybody. We're on week 3 of 4. So it's great to see everybody here. Let's see, I'm gonna do a little screen share with you guys. I found my slide deck again after last week. So just not looking in the right place. All right. And I think Jeff is keeping an eye on the attendance for me. Let's see. And I'm gonna share screen. There we go. All right, a little bit for week 3. And then we have our first speaker, Dominique from Vero, who will be joining us. All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Dominique.
Hey,
Yeah, so you can hang out for a minute and get to hear from everybody. I'm just going to go over a couple of resources that we have available to teachers. So first off is our Visiting Scientist program. So Dominique, you can join this too as the scientist. So we pair scientists who have registered as volunteers with teachers who need speakers for their class. So you can request for a virtual speaker, an in-person speaker. You never know where people live or who they, where their family lives. So they might be able to visit your corner of the state. And so we will help coordinate a meeting so that you can have a speaker to talk to your class. So like Dominique will be talking to you guys today, somebody could come and talk to your students and answer questions that they have about Georgia industry. So
how do we sign up for that?
Here's a QR code
there you go.
that will lead you to the website, and on there you should see one that says something about for teachers and then one that says for scientists. So there are 2 registration pages there. Yeah, I see some phones popping out in front of the camera. Perfect. I'll leave that up for a second, and I'll put the link in the chat probably while Dominique is speaking. So if you did not grab it now, I'll put it in the chat for you. All right, and then the next thing, so I put this in the Google Drive. There is a document called Essential Skills and Competencies. So just as a reference for you guys, these we put together in 2019 from combing through job openings. So there were some key terms that kept popping up. And so these are skills that are not necessarily studied in school per se. So they're not part of the set curriculum, but they're kind of in the background as good practices and again, essential skills. So we've since looked at more job openings and the same things keep popping up. So we want to make sure to kind of bring this to your attention. So there's a 4-page document that goes into a little bit more detail in the Google Drive for you. But those essential skills are aseptic technique, which you guys have covered with the Glow Germ Lab, calculations and measurements, which we've done a couple examples of so far, and you'll do a little bit more today. Reagent and media preparation. So again, last week, and then you'll do some more this week. Lab sampling procedure and practice. So you guys are learning a little bit about how to use micropipettes to do some of that sampling. And let's see, equipment use and maintenance. We will do a little bit more with some larger equipment in the spring sessions, but there are plenty of different pieces of equipment, and it's important for students to understand that, once they get into a job, they will be trained on the specific equipment, but it's always good to have familiarity with what those items are doing. All right, next is record keeping and keeping a lab notebook. So now a lot of that is done electronically, but getting your students to understand that it's really important to document everything that they're doing. This is going to be essential. And if they are really good at documenting, then there is a place for them in industry. Keeping up with inventory. So there's a lot that goes into running any life science company as far as inventory that's needed for the labs, for shipping, maintenance equipment, all the things. So keeping up with inventory and sample inventory. Safety, so we've done a little bit of lab safety, but again, there will be plenty of things that the students would need to be trained on in specific settings, just like you guys train them in your specific classrooms to be safe in that environment. And then the last one is following standard operating procedures, better known as following directions. So it sounds simple, but it is so essential, and you have to be able to follow to the letter if you are working with a standard operating procedure. So you can really impress upon your kids that if they're good at following directions and they like science, there is a place for them. They may not be the best at science, but there are careers that they could really excel at. So again, that document is in the shared drive for you guys. And okay, we're not actually at 4:30 yet. I was like, maybe I've talked through Dominique's time already.
No.
So do you guys have any questions on that or on visiting scientists? And thank you guys that are popping in the chat if there's more than one of you in a room, so that we can make sure to mark your attendance properly. So take a minute for questions. All good?
Does this, oh, sorry.
Hey, Pam.
Hi, does this essential skills and competencies, is this aligned with the base?
Not intentionally, but yes.
I mean, yeah, I was just looking at, it looks like it's pretty standard with the base and part of the NOCD and.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So these are things that are going to keep popping up again and again with base. Yeah, precision and NOCD probably also, right? I haven't actually seen those exams, but I'm sure you're right.
With the visiting scientist, is there, because it's about industry, are there any scientists that are already listed as resources for good manufacturing practices? Because that seems to be the most bizarre part of the industry. My kids can do the lab stuff, but putting the good manufacturing practices and such, are there scientists that can help with that?
Yeah, I think so. Is that one of the things that's on the form? If not, I can put it on the form.
Okay, I haven't looked at the initial form just yet.
I'll scan. Yeah, I can look through the who's already signed up as a scientist and see if kind of what their background is. And if that is not on there, I will put it on there.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And we interrupted somebody.
She asked questions that kind of answered my question.
Okay, perfect. Cool. Well, those were all of the resources I believe I had for you guys today. We have, I put the links from session 2 in a document called session 2 links in the Google Drive, so you guys can find those. And I guess one other note, everybody should have been added to our mailing list, which you are more than welcome to remove yourself from. But our form stack automatically adds to the newsletter mailing list. So you probably got one on Friday. If you did not see it, please check your spam folder and tell it that the CC send email address is not spam and that you would like to receive those things. So I put in a whole bunch of stuff about the equipment depot. Oh, thanks, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff popped in a link for GMP resources. And Jeff is a good resource on GMP as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and maybe we'll have a couple minutes next week, Jeff, that you can tell them about the bioexpression and fermentation facility.
Okay.
Yeah. But so the newsletter, I did post a bunch of different things that we've gotten in the equipment depot. So if you see an item that you want, feel free to message me. I'm happy to make a pile for you guys so that you can pick something up when you're traveling through Atlanta the next time. Or if you know that a coworker is coming to Atlanta for something, I'm happy to hand off any items to them as well. So just keep in touch about the equipment depot. I have a lot of stuff and it's useful stuff. So I'd like to get that back out to you guys. So again, my email signature has a link to sign up for a calendar appointment. So if you'd like to do a virtual walkthrough, just use that to sign up for a time on my calendar. I'm trying to keep it pretty updated. Mark, where do you go to sign up for the newsletter? I'll put that link in the chat too. Yeah. All right. Good
Who
question.
should the email about the newsletter have come from?
It would have, it's like education@ccsend.com or something like that. It's something very off the wall because we use Constant Contact. But it should, the title of the newsletter was like Georgia Bioed October newsletter. So if you're not getting it, just shoot me an email, or I'll put the link and then you can just sign up for it yourself here in a minute. All right, I am going to stop sharing my screen when I find the chat bar. All righty. So, Dominique, are you ready?
Ready as I ever be.
Ready as you'll ever be.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. So, everybody, I would like to introduce you to Dominique Smith of Vero Biotech, and I will let him tell you about himself.
Okay. Well, my name is Dominique Smith. I'm employed here at Vero Biotech. I've been here almost 4 years now. I work in the engineering department. I previously worked for Abbott Laboratories in special operations. I'm a graduate of Atlanta Technical College in the biotechnology program, and now I'm here working. So I hear y'all over talking about the good practices and good manufacturing practices and things like that. All of those apply here at Vero Biotech. Good laboratory practices, good manufacturing practices, especially good documentation practices. So we practice all that here. So what we do here is we make a nitric oxide device, which is inhaled to help people with who has trouble breathing and things of that nature. We really got big during the COVID time, because that's one of the symptoms. You can't breathe or you're having trouble breathing. So our medical device really helped a lot of people. We were projected to be into maybe 5 or 6 hospitals in our first year, which we eclipsed that. We was in 150 hospitals. So it was really vital that our device is used. So that's basically it, what I do. Like I said, this is my first time speaking. I don't know the things I'm supposed to cover, but if y'all have questions or anything, y'all can ask me or whatnot, and I'm pretty sure I can help and answer them.
So what does your day-to-day look like right now?
All right, my day-to-day is I work on the console side of Vero Biotech. I don't know, y'all probably can see we have a few of them here. So what I do is I try to identify unknown problems and known problems. I stress test the consoles, and I also do service. We just recently started doing service here at Vero Biotech because we were outsourcing our console, but now we're bringing it in-house to do all of our maintenance, preventive maintenance, and identify our corrective maintenance. So basically every day I'm opening up the console, or if I'm doing running functional tests on the console, taking it through different tests every day to see if there's a problem, if there's not a problem, and try to get it back out to the vendor as soon as possible.
You guys have any questions? Oh, no, I've lost the chat. Oh, and so where is your company located?
We're located in Atlanta, Georgia. The company was originally down in Vero Beach, Florida. But we moved here. Our CEO thought to come where he can find new, innovative, and young engineers to help build the company. So we moved right in the Georgia Tech building of 387 Technology Circle. And I just so happened to be able to get in somewhere. I was a little diverse, so I was able to get hired as well.
So on Georgia Tech campus.
Yes, we're on Georgia. Yeah, we're on Georgia Tech campus, but like right across the street a little bit off Northside Drive.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, so I was gonna ask you also, somebody
Okay.
said, can you describe your degree or certificate program from Atlanta Tech?
Of course. I'm a graduate of the Bioscience Technology program, and I have the environmental laboratory practices certification. And I also have HAZWOPER. So I'm sort of I'm the waste coordinator here as well. So anything hazardous, non-hazardous, anything dealing with chemicals, I'm the guy you come see to get it off site or to handle it or to see how to handle the type of chemical. That's half and half with my engineering duties here at Bureau.
See, what other questions? So what is the starting salary for your position?
The starting salary for my position, I don't know. Like I'm kind of a hybrid. See, that's the thing. When you come in, you want to try to make yourself, valuable to the company. So I tried while I was at Abbott, I tried to learn everything I needed to learn and not let a degree or a position hold me back. I had he was kind of like a mentor. He was the site lead. He told me, I said, man, I don't have an engineer. He was like, why is that stopping you from trying to learn the engineering duties? Because that makes you more valuable with them not having to go get someone, but you know the ins and outs of the business already. So I kind of made myself more marketable in that sense. So when I came down to Vero Biotech, they really gave me like a nice salary. So I'm not sure what the starting position is, uh, but I'm mid 80s. So I make me 88, probably about 85 a year what I make.
Yeah, and starting out comfortably.
Yeah, starting out comfortable. But I had like 10 years. I worked with Abbott 8 years. So now I have 3.5 here. But I don't know the starting salary because I was sort of like kind of a hybrid.
Right, doing the two positions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Somebody said, what is an example of a problem you have to consult for?
A problem. In what sense? Like general?
So
Or
Amy asked the question. If Amy, you want to chat or chime in and clarify. General. Okay.
general. Let me see. General questions. I really don't have to consult. I've been doing it for a while, but maybe one example, right? I probably would go to the legal team, say if I wanted to get rid of a waste stream, right? And the waste stream is protected, that we have the waste stream to get rid of it a certain type of way in order so our device won't be reverse engineered. I'll have to consult with them, hey, do we have a patent against this to stop them from reverse engineering our type of device, trademark secrets, and to see if is it okay to get rid of it, or do I still have to use a regulated procedure in order to comfortably get the waste off the site?
Yeah, all the proper disposal and the ins and
Yeah.
outs of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the chemicals have one set and then
Yes.
the equipment has a different set. So there's a lot of stuff to balance there. And I'm going to put Vero's website in the chat for everybody so they can see a little bit more, because one of the questions was a little bit more about what your device does.
Okay. Well, it actually you're inhaling the nitric oxide, and it's helped transport the nitric oxide through the body to help the body breathe more, to open up the lungs and get the air in and out throughout the body. And if I don't know if anybody's been to a hospital before, um, and you go and you see those big nitric oxide tanks, they're about this tall. You know, they're about your height, and someone is on it, and they have to have a ventilator, and they have to get that transported to them. But you can only have so many of those tanks according to regulations in the hospital. So the sickest patient probably has to get that tank. And we've tried to minimize that and give each patient a chance to be on our machine who needs it, to get to, so they won't have that issue of who gets it, who doesn't get it. And when I was explaining the tank to y'all, we took away the tank and we created this little neat guy here. We have a chemistry in here. It's a small ampule. It starts out liquid NO, and then once you put this into the device, it activates the liquid with a chemistry, and it turns it into NO2, and it's clean NO2, so the body can receive it through ventilation and our console. So we don't have to worry about that big tank anymore. You chugging a big tank to someone's room. All you're doing is popping this cassette in and letting it do its magic.
Yeah, and so you can think about how it saves costs for the hospitals as well as enabling them to
Yes,
help more
yes,
patients.
it's a bit cost efficient. Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah, that's the magic word.
Yeah.
Is always, does it save them cost?
Of course, of course. And after you finish, you just chuck that cassette in the trash and you're good to go and pop another one in.
Awesome. So the question was, you guys developed these devices?
Yes,
So everything was from scratch, right?
yes.
And then do you guys have more products in the works, or is it kind of focusing on the one for now? I don't need specifics, but
I'm in a meeting. They want to, do we have more products in the works? Can you speak?
Sure.
Hey, this is
Wow,
John
we're-
Manning, he's the director here.
Hi.
dragging people in. Hey, you're speaking with 60 teachers from across Georgia.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
So you want to know more products in the mix? Is that the question?
Yeah. Whatever
Yeah.
you're willing to share, I'm sure they'd love to hear it.
Okay. No, that's all right. Yeah, our primary focus is still the intensive care units, so neonatal intensive care, cardiothoracic ICU, adult ICU. But we've got a new generation of our Genocell system that we're just starting to do the user requirements for and figure out. So it'll be not only for the hospital, but we're also looking for this being optimized for use on ambulances and air helicopter, air ambulances, so helicopters, fixed wing aircraft, as well as doing some hospital to home things. So there are some patients who the only reason they're in the hospital is because they need nitric oxide. So this smaller system will be connected to the cloud, and so we basically do some data fusion. So a person who would take this home would probably have other monitoring. So you might wear a smartwatch that measures your heart rate and your oxygen saturation, things like that, so we can make sure that everything's going fine during your nitric oxide therapy. So those are some of the things that we're looking at based on our core technology for generating nitric oxide from a liquid and eliminating gas tanks, as well as we're also looking at adjacent spaces in the intensive care space. So other products that we're looking actually to acquire.
Other needs that they have for those situations.
Exactly. Yep.
So what do you anticipate your workforce needs are in the next couple of years, since here are the teachers that have your future workforce?
Well, we need all kinds. So if you look at everything from people who work on our cassette production line, so those are technicians, quality inspectors. We have quality engineers, regulatory affairs people. In my neck of the woods, we all wear pocket protectors because we're all nerd engineers. So electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, chemical engineers, software developers, people who do usability studies, so human factors engineering, things like that. Our customers have to be able to use the products. We have accountants, finance people, people who run our HR department. So it's it's a pretty diverse company. A lot of different needs and skills. If you're bright and like to work hard, this is a good place for you. So. And
Awesome.
it's a wide range. I'm an old goat here. I bring up the average age by about 30 years. But we've got a diversity of young, people right out of school, as well as kind of mid-career, as well as they're trying to kick me out the door now, so I'm late career. But it's a fun place to work, and pretty diverse workforce too. I mean, we've got on our engineering team, we've got as many female engineers as male. And you see that, and same thing in the leadership. Two of our executives in the C-suite are women. So our chief customer officer, Michelle Nicolai, and our chief technology officer, Katie Fisher, to go along with our chief financial officer, Todd, and our CEO, Brent, and our chief innovation officer, Steve. So pretty, if you look at the company, I think it reflects Atlanta pretty well in terms of the diversity of people. And it's a strength.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
We'll let you stop squatting. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for inviting him on.
No problem, no problem. John can speak to it better than I could.
Yeah. But you're doing great too. So thank you.
Jay.
So one of the other questions, how long did those units last?
John, it just depends on the dosage, right?
You mean in terms of
the cassette dosing.
the cassette?
Yeah, the cassette dosing.
On average?
Probably for like our NICU application, it could last a couple days. For a NICU patient, for an adult patient who's on non-invasive, it could only be 6 to 8 hours, because they're consuming gas at a much faster rate. So.
Awesome. Thanks. Do you guys have any other questions? And feel free to just pop on and unmute if you don't want to put in the chat. So do you keep up with anybody from Athens or from Atlanta Tech? Like what are your colleagues from there doing now?
I keep up with a few of them. Yawa, her name is Yawa. She went on to become a pharmacist at Kennesaw State. So she finished up there. I talked to a former classmate last night. We were just talking about just working period. She used to work here, and she moved on from here, but now she's a traveling pharmacist inventory specialist. She was over on the West Coast in California doing some inventory, and she was headed out to Las Vegas this morning. I keep up with a few of them, so we try to talk. We try to talk much as we can throughout social media and things like Zoom and Teams. So I do. Not everybody continued in the biotech industry because it is challenging, but a lot of them did, and they're doing different things right now, working for different companies or so.
Yeah, who knows? They could get pulled back into biotech in the future too.
Yeah.
As things grow. So one more question in the chat was, what type of machinery do you use to test the devices and do stress tests? We
actually come up with, I'm glad y'all asked that. We come up with protocols and work instructions and SOPs. That is one of the biggest things that you could go by. SOPs are big because that could determine a pass or fail, or a false pass or fail due to user error when you're testing the devices. So they come up with a couple of things to type in to override the machine like it's supposed to work, and you type in some things to have it running. And we did like the study for probably almost a year, and we just kept the machine running. We kept the machine running. We changed the dosage as it went on to see how could it handle dosing over certain periods of time, to see what errors would you get. Would you get a line reverse error? Would you get a high NO2 error, a low NO2 error? some of those things. We just kept it running basically, and we used some humidifiers to simulate breathing from a patient, and we kept the humidifiers hooked up, some sensors, and airlines. That's basically it. But we kept them running we kept them running as long as they could, and then we just took down times and studies of how the machine was responding to the different doses and stuff like that. There was nothing that we introduced to the machinery new or anything like that or uncommon.
Awesome. Next question, what are your work hours like?
My work hours are crazy, but it's not too bad. It's a give and take, right? I think I put in enough time to where they're like, okay, the schedules can be adjusted. I don't have a set time to come in, but I try to come in here and if I'm coming in at 9, I normally leave at 6, but some days are long because we may have some stuff come that we have to do. We may have some protocols to run to get a line released, or we may have issues just beyond our control if we find like new issues. Because I'm in the R&D department, so we don't have like a 9 to 5 go home. It's never boring. It's never one day is the same. There's always issues somewhere or fires you can put out. So you
And
got
that was the next question in the chat. Is your job boring?
no, by no, not any chance is boring. Because like I said, I'm a hybrid. So I may come in today and my manager's like, hey man, go do some service or run some tests. And I'll get a call in between that. They're like, hey, we have a spill over here. And what should we do? And like, can you come over and help? I'm like, you're the chemist. So it's never boring.
Yeah, they didn't get trained on how to clean up.
Yeah. Or they just didn't want to do it,
Right.
Yeah. But it's never boring.
Awesome. So no repetitive tasks.
Yes, they're repetitive, but it's like
Never
I said,
the same repetitive tasks.
it's not boring because we're working with a device. It's complex, so it almost seems like it has a mind of its own. It'll give you this error today, but then you come over here, you may get another error over here. So you're like, that's odd. So you just have to get in there, dig in, see what's wrong, what the problems are. And then I haven't had the same problem in a while, but it's always fun to dig in and see what caused the issue.
Awesome. And how many employees do you guys have at the Atlanta office?
I think we're probably about 150, 200 strong right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So not that small of a company. So you, really made yourself valuable there.
Yeah.
So, and somebody asked, how many people do the same work that you do? And then are you the only person with that level of education?
How many people? It's maybe on my team, because I'm on the console engineering side, Omar, Alex, me, Devin, Andrew. So it's 6 people that directly report to my manager. Just a year ago, it was only 3 of us, and then it was just 2 of us. It was me and my manager. So we got some help. We had to borrow people from production, engineering, and they came over and we hired 2 other people. So it's about 5 of us on my team, or 6 of us, including my manager. And I'm the only one with the AA that's on the team in biotechnology.
You guys have anybody that like works there and then continues school while they're working?
Yep. You're looking at one, and we have a couple other people that continue working here. We actually have my manager's his cousin. He's at Georgia Tech now, and he's working here part-time. We have that often, and we also offer internships throughout the year.
What level? Do you have high school internships?
Yep. our CTO's nephew was working with our team this past summer. Yep, he came
Awesome.
in.
We should maybe get some teacher fellowships going too.
Of course, I can run it by Katie and see what she says. Yep.
Awesome.
Have any, a rush of needs and employees for the summer? This is,
I'm pretty sure we do. I don't know right offhand, but we're always looking for talented people. And our engineers, our CEO says that all the time. I don't think we would say no, but we just have to see where we can place them.
Awesome. Yeah, so somebody asked for contact information for the student internship. So I guess we can be in touch and pass along that information.
We'll
as you
do,
have
and
it
we'll do, and
available.
they also can look on Vero Biotech. We posted the internships, and they can just apply.
Okay, yeah, so if you follow the website link, you can
Yeah.
find the career opportunities. Awesome. And then somebody asked, what is the best aspect of your role? And then what do you least enjoy?
Okay, the best aspect of my role is 7 years ago, I was blessed with a kid, and unfortunately, but fortunately, she needed our device. And my daughter, she eventually passed, but once I seen that there was a place for me, because I was in the cardiovascular division at Abbott, and which she was going through Noonan syndrome, which attacked her cardiovascular system, I felt the need to be there. But then I seen this company move downstairs, and it was saying for biotechnology. I'm like, hey, that's my degree. Then it says for neonates. I said, hey, I had a child who needed this device, and it was nitric oxide device, and my baby had to be on it like 3 months for the duration of her life. And I just felt the need. This is where I need to be. This is where I want to go. I want to help kids that are like my kids. I want to be somewhere where it wasn't just, hey, you come in, hit a clock, and you go home to make money. I want to know that it mattered what I was doing, and it was bigger to me to help another parent who was feeling how I was feeling, to try to ensure that I can give their child a better quality of life. So that's the most important part of my job. And that's the most enjoyable part of my job.
Awesome.
The not so part, I don't really have a not so good part. But anytime you're dealing with quality, they always are stiflers. They're going over your work 4 or 5 times to make sure you did something right, or to see if you didn't do something right. But other than that, no, it's an overall good feeling. I would give it like 99%. Any other time that I'm not so good is probably me, because hey, I have to go to work. But the other that 1% doesn't really matter.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. Yeah.
No problem.
And,
Anytime.
glad to hear that you found a way that you can make such an impact.
Yeah, I was trying, just try to see if I can do my part.
Awesome. Do you guys have any last questions for Dominique? Yeah, if you can see the chat, there are some nice messages for you.
Okay, which one? How far is it down?
All the way at the bottom.
Okay.
I know you missed all the messages.
I'm sorry. I was just looking straight ahead.
I know I've been reading most of the chat to you, but
Okay.
yeah.
Thank y'all so much. I thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for the love. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Would you like to share your contact information in the chat, or would you like me to just connect them with you directly?
Of course, you can. You can send it out to everybody.
Okay. Will do. Yeah, I'll put your email in the chat here in a second. Yeah, once all the thank yous.
Okay, thank
Bye.
y'all. Thank y'all so much. Oh my God. A good friend of mine is online. His name is Broderick Smith. We went to high school together, middle school together. I think
Aw.
elementary school too. So he chimed in. Appreciate it for chiming in, brother.
Yeah, it's always good to see fellow alumni on.
Of course, of course. He knew I was really nervous about even speaking. I've never done any speaking engagements, or didn't even know where to start.
You did
So
a
you
great
did
job,
a
Dominic. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you. And I think there are no more questions. So we'll let you get back to your job because it sounds like you're not done yet.
No, I'm not done. I probably won't leave it at 6 or 7. Thank y'all.
Yeah. Thank you
Y'all be
so
good.
much. Have a great rest of the
Anytime.
day.
You all. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. And I'll let our next speaker in. Hey, Shalu.
Hi, hey Megan, can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you.
Amazing.
Awesome. Well, welcome. So everybody, this is Shalu Suri. So she is in the Cell Manufacturing Technologies group, and she is at Georgia Tech. So Shalu, if you are ready, I'll let you start presenting.
Sure, thank you. Thanks, Megan. And I'm seeing some familiar faces. I see Jeff is there. Hi, Jeff. So everyone, my name is Shalu Suri, as Megan said, Tech. I work with CMAT Group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing my slides. Let me first do the screen share, and then I can start talking. Let's see. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
All right, great. Today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what we are doing here at CMAT. So I am the co-director of Engineering Workforce Development pillar. We have different pillars at CMAT. I will probably briefly mention it later. I only have like 15 minutes, so I want to cover some part. So I'll talk about what we are doing here at CMAT in terms of enabling the future of medicine. And I will be talking about training the next generation workforce, because that's what I do here, basically preparing the next generation CMAT experts and scientists. So before I talk about CMAT, I just wanted to quickly talk about my journey just in 2 slides. I'm originally from India. That's where I got my undergrad degree from. I'm a first generation high school or college graduate. So I went to IIT Bombay in India. And, if you know IIT in India, it's like MIT of US. So it's like the best institute there. That's where the Google CEO Sundar Pichai also went. So I got my degree from IIT Bombay, and then I came to US for my PhD in BME, and I got it from UT Austin, Hookham Halls, in biomedical engineering. I worked in biomaterials, tissue engineering, so a lot of cell culture, working with materials and all. And then I did a short postdoc at Georgia Tech. Then I went to Cornell University. I was a faculty there in biomedical engineering department. I taught undergrad and grad courses, developed a lot of curriculum there, a lot of undergrad, grad classes. And then more than 3 years ago, it's going to be 4 years in January, I moved to Georgia Tech. I joined the BME department here, joined CMAT, and have been working with the team on the workforce development side since. The pictures you are seeing here, let me pull up my laser pointer. Yeah. So the pictures at the bottom you are seeing here, these are all from our RET program, which is basically research experience for teachers. So this is like these are all high school teachers. I'm here in red. So these are high school teachers who come and do summer research with us, full-time summer research. I'll talk a little bit about it in the upcoming slide. So as I said, I am here working in the CMAT. So CMAT is a short form of Cell Manufacturing Technologies. It's an NSF-funded engineering research center. It's a multi-institute engineering research center where Georgia Tech is the lead site and we have the partner sites. So if you take a look here, we have Georgia Tech as the lead site, and then we have major partners. So UGA, University of Puerto Rico, Mayaguez, University of Wisconsin, Madison. These are the primary partners, and then we have affiliate partners as well, like UPenn. And then we have international partners like Osaka University and then University of British Columbia and so on. So the CMAT, it has been around for a few years now. It started in 2017. It was a long process of, the proposal submission and review. It's a highly competitive proposal. You get funded for 10 years, where you get the funding for first 5 years. So we got 20 million from NSF for first 5 years, and then we got renewed last year. So now we are renewed for another 5 years. And we competed with 170 proposals across engineering discipline, and only 4 were awarded nationwide. So CMAT was one of them. So what we are doing here at CMAT, the goal of CMAT is to basically work with industry, clinicians, everyone coming together and developing transformative tools and technologies that can be used to manufacture high quality therapeutic cells. So we want to basically develop these cells in low cost manners, the process that is scalable, that is reproducible, and these cells that we want to manufacture, they have to be high quality cells that can be used to treat the diseases that were previously not curable. So mostly we are talking about curing cancer here. And if you take a look at the field, field of cell therapy, in the last, I would say 6 years or so, it has made a lot of progress. 2017 is the time when we had first FDA approved cell therapy product that came out, the same time when CMAT also got funded. That's when we had the first FDA approved product that had come out. And since then, the field has grown at a rapid pace. Now we have multiple FDA approved products. And when I say, FDA approved cell therapy is basically talking about these cells that are mostly developed from immune cells or stem cells, and they are being used to treat cancers, mostly leukemia, lymphomas, myelomas, and so on. So the field is growing at a rapid pace, but then it's still a very nascent, pretty new field. So since it's a pretty new field, and the cure here is not like a biologic or a drug, it's basically cell. So developing these cells is very, it's not as straightforward. So you need a lot of expertise. So you cannot ignore the elephant in the room. It's a pretty, we have FDA approved treatments, but it's a pretty expensive treatment. Just manufacturing those cells runs in, $500,000. And that I'm just talking about the cell itself. It doesn't include the hospital cost. It doesn't include the doctor, the stay, and all that. So it's a pretty expensive treatment. So that's like one of the barrier challenge that is there. We want to make it accessible. We want to make it low cost, affordable. The other barrier is, as I said, the field has grown really pretty fast, but the challenge is that workforce training has not been able to keep pace with the growing industry needs. So there is a gap that exists between the need and the number of trained professionals that are out there. Even if you look at the recent biomanufacturing, I don't know if you can see the top, there is this, let me hide. Yes. So if you take a look at the recent announcements from the federal government, there is a lot of biomanufacturing push that has been there. So come on. Okay, here we go. So there is an executive order on advancing biotechnology, biomanufacturing. There is a PCAS report that is being published, that was recently published by the White House. There is a DoD report and so on. So if you take a look at all these reports, I'm just going to show you pretty much the output, the main points, that main takeaways from these reports. So there is, the PCAS report. The PCAS stands for Presidential Council of advisors for science and technology, something like that. So all these reports kind of highlight that if US want to maintain their leading position in the biomanufacturing, in the advanced manufacturing, they really have to be, if they want to be in the forefront, they have to develop and implement advanced technologies, biomanufacturing technologies. And all these reports really highlight that we need to advance our workforce. We need to train our workforce. We have to have an appropriately skilled workforce. So that is one of the challenge or barrier that has been highlighted in these reports as well. So how are we working on addressing some of these challenges? I'm not going to talk about all the challenges. I'm mostly highlighting the workforce training challenges because we have teachers here today, and we really want our teachers to motivate our K-12 students and let them know about this field, that exists in the science and engineering. So how we are working here, the goal is to bring all stakeholders on deck. So when I say stakeholders, obviously biomedical engineers like me, chemical engineers, we want computer scientists, we want people from regulatory agencies, from FDA, patient advocates, insurance reimbursement experts, everyone. We need to bring them all together and talk about how we can enable the industry and practitioners and can develop these highly reproducible, low cost, high quality therapeutic cells. So to address these challenges and barriers that exist in the field, what we did was Georgia Tech, along with other universities, we did a roadmap activity a couple of years ago. I believe it was like 2016 or sometime that when we did this roadmap activity. And the roadmap was mainly, brought together a lot of academic people, industry people, clinicians, and everyone together, and basically talked about, identify the barriers and challenges that need to be addressed to advance the field of biomanufacturing. So we had 16 universities that participated in this roadmap, 25 industry partners. We had people from FDA, DOD, where DOD is the Department of Defense, NIH, NSF, and so on. So they all came together and we talked about what are the challenges that exist. Challenges in the research side, challenges on the workforce side, and what steps we can take to basically address these challenges. So there is a whole 10-year, roadmap that is there. You can download this roadmap, read more about it on the cell manufacturing website that is shown here. The whole PDF document is there. What I'm going to show you is the challenges and barriers that were identified towards a workforce development, preparing the next generation workforce. So obviously, I'm not going to read all of them, but there is a gap in terms of, there are not enough training programs or education programs that are out there, all the way from K-12 to technical college, undergrad, grad, and so on. There is also a lack of multidisciplinary skills across cell manufacturing workforce. So if you take a look at the current cell manufacturing workforce, they mostly do not have expertise outside cell biology. And if you take a look at cell manufacturing, it's a very multidisciplinary. You need to know more than cell biology. You need to know, big data. You need to know biomedical engineering. You need to know a lot of different topics are there, data analytics and so on. So the lack of multidisciplinary skills is there. There is also not proper communication of those opportunities that exist in the field. And one of the drawback is that we have to strengthen the communication between the academia and industry to basically train the workforce and to understand what the need is. So based on the outputs of the roadmap activity we did, and also the feedback we got from all those industry professionals, clinicians, and all, what we did was we developed some technical and professional skills. And the goal is basically that we want these skills, we want our trainees to develop these skills when they are in the program, when they are in the lab. So there are technical skills, there are professional skills like cultural sensitivity, regulatory knowledge, and so on. I'm not going to go into the details of this skill, but I do want to show you the integrated systems approach we are taking towards workforce training. And why I'm showing is because I want to show you what we are doing from K-12 to technical, all across the educational levels. So obviously we are getting all these inputs from I showed you the skills, we are getting industry feedback, we have an advisory board in place that who we meet with on a regular basis, and based on those inputs we have developed processes, we have developed curriculum modules, we have developed technical college partnership, we have developed partnership with the K-12 programs, high school teachers, and so on. So we are doing all these. So in terms of K-12, we are doing high school students. We are working with high school students where we are bringing these students in the CMAT labs. They are doing hands-on research. We are bringing the high school teachers in the CMAT lab. They are doing they are doing hands-on research. And the outcome is that the goal, we are working towards training a diverse cell manufacturing workforce, engineers, technicians, entry-level workforce, and so on. And for that, to be able to achieve our goal, a sustained industry engagement is very important. So we are always, talking to our industry. We have roughly 40 industry partners, and we meet with them, some of those folks multiple times in a year. We have industry participation in a lot of different activities. They give lectures in our courses. We do a lot of industry networking panels. So, our teachers, the high school teachers who did research in our lab this summer, they got to participate in multiple industry panels where they ask questions about, entry-level opportunities that are there for high school students. We also do have industry internships. We have, we have industry people who serve as judges in our competitions and so on. So a lot of industry engagement is there. All right, so I want to talk about, as I said, I'm going to just talk, even in the workforce part, I just want to touch on some of the activities. So what I'm focusing on today is mostly K-12 side and a little bit on technical college side. Our K-12 partnership mainly includes, we do the research experience for teachers program. It's called RET program. And we do it in partnership with GIFT, that is Georgia Intern Fellowship for Teachers. And basically what we do is we basically have teachers who are in close proximity to these host institutions. So let's say Georgia Tech or UGA or Puerto Rico, these are the partner sites, right? So the high school STEM teachers, they apply, and then every year we have 5 to 6 teachers come and do research in the CMAT lab. It's a full-time summer program. Teachers get paid stipends. So if you can see at the bottom, I have detail for the summer 2023 RET program, and I believe they got paid. It was $1,000 a week. Yes. So every week they got paid $1,000 stipend, they got to do hands-on research training in the lab. And based on that research, they develop a lesson plan that they take it back to their high school and teach it to the students. So we feel like this is highly impactful because a teacher comes in contact of so many students during their career, so they can impact a lot of lives, a lot of careers, by educating their students about this field, that it exists, how transformative that is, and how much need is there in this field right now and in the future. So the teachers, they did hands-on research. They also participated in a number of professional development activities. For example, industry panels, research seminars. We did weekly journal clubs. That was like one of the favorite activity. Here you are looking at one of the teachers from last year who got a first place in the poster session. She went to University of Wisconsin-Madison, where we had our summer retreat, and she presented a poster. And here is another picture with other, three teachers we have here, and they all went to University of Wisconsin-Madison. So I'm going to be ending soon because I know I'm like almost the time is over, but I also wanted to quickly talk about the virtual high school teachers workshop. This is an activity we started last year. And basically what we did was during the COVID, we were not able to do our RET program in person. So we did a virtual RET program. So when we went back to fully in-person program last year, we wanted to preserve some aspect of the virtual programming. So that's when I started this workshop for high school STEM teachers. And here we have had, the goal is to reach out to teachers who are in rural areas or are in distant location, not necessarily close to host universities. So we do a half-day long workshop. Teachers learn about cell manufacturing, what are the career options, how their students can, enter can get training on so that they can join the entry-level workforce, and they get to interact with our industry partners and so on. So this, I will be doing it again in the coming summer, and you can get more information from Megan. I will share it with her. And all the teachers, they received $250 stipend for this half-day workshop. So just, look out for this. If you're interested, reach out to Megan in the beginning of summer. I have a video. Megan, do I have time or should I just?
Yeah, is about 2 minutes. Not
Okay,
even.
so I will just quickly show. So this is a video. Let's see. I want to get rid of. So this is a video of one of our teachers. Let me play it at the right spot. So I want to see
there and now.
Yeah.
And I like to get my.
Okay, so this is one of our teachers from the summer, Latrice Woods, who was in CMAT lab. She did full-time research, 6 weeks long research. So I'm not going to show you the whole video, but basically, just 30 seconds where she's describing her experience.
So firsthand experience there. And now I'm working in the CMAT lab on C. elegans. And everything that they're doing in the lab is very applicable to the classroom. And I like to get my hands wet. Sometimes when you're teaching in class, you forget what it's like in the lab, or you're only teaching the content. And sometimes it's hard for you to understand how it relates to the students, or how, make it worthwhile to them. And so I think the gift experience is very important to get teachers to open their eyes again and be in that discovery mode, put them in that student discovery mode so that they can better relate to their students.
Hi, my name is Shalu. All right, so I'm going to pause this. It's there. I'll be happy to share the link if you want to see the whole video.
Yeah, you can pop it in the chat. That'd be great.
Yes, I will do that. Just, this is my second last slide. So I wanted to, as I said, we are doing a lot of these, partnerships with K-12 technical college. So we have partnership with technical colleges as well. Jeff is here among the audience. We have partnership with Atlanta Technical College, Athens Technical College, where we have had instructor come and work in the CMAT lab, and now they have taken a role of mentor, and they have actually developed curriculum that has, cell manufacturing or biomanufacturing components, and have integrated it into their curriculum. So it's being taught at the technical college level as well. I wanted to, before, in the end, I wanted to show you the overall vision, what we are doing. I didn't get a chance to talk a lot about research, but in CMAT, the overall goal is that we want to develop these high quality cells. So we have 3 test beds. We have MSCs, where mesenchymal stem cells, we have immune cells, we have iPSCs, induced pluripotent stem cells, and then we have 3 big research areas. So a lot of cell culture, a lot of, assays to predict cell potency, safety. So basically ELISA, PCR, you may have been teaching this to your students, or may have, done some of it. So that's what, that's what mainly those projects are, they entail. All right, so with that, I will end. I'm sorry, I went a little faster because I wanted to share a lot of different components, but
There's a lot. Yeah.
let's see. Are there any questions? Feel free to unmute and ask whatever question you have.
Yeah, we can take a minute or two, and then I will share the resources with everybody. That was one of the questions. So as you guys have those dates available, we'll be sharing them out with all the teachers here. And everybody here is rural, so I'm sure they also appreciate that virtual option, which is what we're doing right now, is our virtual PD that we learned from COVID. So
yes, so I'll be doing the virtual workshop in the summer, and the flyer, I'll share the flyer with Megan, and she will be sharing it with all of you, or you can reach out to me. I will post my email ID here in the chat. Also, I will share the slides with Megan in case, you want to take a look at it later.
yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Shalu.
Sure, happy to do that. All right, I posted my email ID.
Email, yeah. And then could you share that video link?
Yes, I have that open here. Let me stop sharing.
Yeah,
And
thank
then,
you.
I have it here, so I will post the link of that video as well in the chat.
So question was, would you consider it better for life or physical science teachers? I think life science teachers will get the most out of it, but there's definitely still a place for physical science teachers.
Yeah,
There's a lot of equivalent.
if you are a high school STEM teacher, who have some background, like let's say biotechnology or biochemistry, imaging, something like that. We have had physics teacher actually come and do summer internship in one of the CMAT labs. And there are always projects, that can align with what you are teaching in your classroom. So as long as you are from the STEM field and you can actually drive to UGA or Georgia Tech, you can apply.
And that's one of the things we focused on, is showing that you can incorporate biotech kind of across any of the classes. So
Yeah.
that would be a great tie-in if you're able to do that. I gave you guys Stan Harrison's email last week. Stan did the fellowship at UGA, and so now he runs his biotech as a cell manufacturing class.
Yeah, and actually, I do. Stan gives a talk during the summer workshop. He shares his whole journey, how he was a school, high school instructor, and then he participated in the CMAT program, and now he's running the whole that certification program. He's heading it in the Georgia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the base exam, and then
the base exam.
his students are getting trained in sound management
yes
as well.
Yeah,
awesome. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Thanks for, it's pretty late, so it's amazing that all these teachers are still here after having a long day already at school.
I know, and then they're excited to pour some gels today.
Oh, okay. Amazing, that's great. All right, everyone. And then Megan, I'll reach out to you about the spring workshop, and then look out for the flyer for the summer workshop.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
Take care, everyone.
Awesome. Okay, we are going to go to our breakout rooms. So I will go ahead and create those, and I will rename. We were calling room 1 Mark, right? Okay. Got to rename them every time. I probably could have set this up beforehand, but I have a toddler, so we'll just say that. Okay. All right. I'm opening the rooms, and I will see Mark's group in there and Trisha's group. Have a great rest of your week. And if you do not know which room you're going to, just hang out for a second and I can assign you to that room for you. Or if you are having trouble finding the breakout rooms, I'll help you guys with that. And Jeff, I went ahead and assigned you over.